My last video about my schizophrenic symptoms was a bit gloomy. It was a bit doom and gloom. But honestly, it's not that bad. It's like part of my illness is a symptom, but you learn to live with it eventually. But I've got a lot to be grateful about. In the 12 step groups, like Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, in pretty much all the 12 step groups, they talk about gratitude lists, which you're supposed to do before you go to bed, either written or thought out or both. And the gratitude list partly is so that you don't take things for granted. There's an awful lot of things in life that we take for granted until they're not there anymore. Even the really simple things like having coffee in your cupboards and soap and access to hot water. These are all things that we take for granted, especially in a rich country like England. But I've got lots to be grateful about. Despite having a voice in my head that isn't 100% pleasant all of the time, I've got an awful lot to be grateful about. I've got my own flat. I'm surrounded by beautiful objects. I've got my health. I haven't smoked for 17 months. I haven't drunk alcohol for 18 or 19 months. I'm still keeping the weight off. My bills are paid. I don't owe any money to anyone. I've still got like I said, my health and my sanity. There's an awful lot to be grateful about. But the practice of the gratitude list is a really, really good thing to do. And as human beings, we do take things for granted that we shouldn't. There's lots of places in this world that don't even have proper sanitation or sewer systems. In this country, I think we're actually all quite well. When they talk about the cost of living crisis and all the rest of it. But if you put things in perspective, you've only got to go back 150 years and people were being deported to Australia for nicking vegetables. They talk about their cost of living crisis, but you can still buy a bag of onions for a quid and a loaf of bread for £1.50. It's not that bad. So yeah, I just thought like the last video I made about my voices was a bit, like I say, doom and gloom. But I've got an awful lot to be grateful for. And I wake up in the mornings wanting to live. I wake up without having a hangover. So it's all good in the hood. Okay. If I make another video about schizophrenia, it's going to be about ways that you can recover from the illness and ways to cope with the illness. But I just kind of like wanted to do an online gratitude list for the day. Okay, thanks.